Judge. My name is Emily, and today I stand on the firmest affirmation of the resolution that the USFG should ban all single-use plastics. Because single-use plastics are entirely unnecessary and only serve to destroy our earth and health, this is why I stand on the firmest affirmation of the resolution that the USFG, again, should ban all single-use plastics. So I believe this for the following 3 reasons: pollution, health, and the fact that it cannot be recycled. So now I'll be discussing my first contention, which is pollution. So according to the UN Environment Program, we produce 300 million tons of plastic each year worldwide, half of which is for single-use items. That's nearly equivalent to the weight of the entire human population. Much of this is, again, are single-use plastics, meaning that most of these single-use items are used for less than 30 minutes and then thrown away, ending up in landfills or waterways. While reusable items are certainly an option, single-use items is where you use and immediately throw away. They're just more convenient. And according to the University of Colorado Boulder, since single-use plastic is created using fossil fuels, and making these plastics emits vast amounts of greenhouse gases. It is estimated that just the extraction of these plastics and the transportation into plastic factories emits 1.5 to 12.5 million tons of greenhouse gases. So greenhouse gases are bad because they make the earth hotter. If the earth gets too hot unnaturally, it's going to cause air and water currents to get messed up, causing large and frequent storms and other natural disasters. It'll also cause animals and people to die because of high temperature levels. So the impact of this contention is that all this evidence shows how much single-use plastics are ruining our environment while serving very little purpose other than convenience. Our desire for just convenience leads to tons of unnecessary trash being created, which further complicates efforts to halt or reverse climate change. And the EPA also states that we have 27 million tons of plastic in landfills. If we do not ban single-use plastics, then we'll have a lot more plastic in landfills, which can leak into the environment because a big pile of dirt cannot hold an even bigger pile of plastic. So this ties into my second contention, which is health. So studies from the last few decades have consistently shown that plastic particles are found in lung specimens of patients with cancer and chronic lung disease. Workers exposed to plastic fibers can have lung problems and reduced lung capacity. The more single-use plastics we create, the more often it'll be found in the human body. And it's not just humans, because the World Wildlife Fund Australia says that it's been estimated that plastic pollution kills 100,000 marine mammals every year. 81 out of 123 marine mammal species are known to have eaten or been entangled in plastic, and all 7 sea turtle species are affected. And with so much unnecessary trash created, it has to go somewhere, and much of it ends up in the ocean. This is one of the costs of our obsession with convenient single-use plastic. And finally, the New Yorker says that plastics are made from byproducts of oil and gas refining. Many of the chemicals involved, such as benzene and vinyl chloride, are carcinogens, which are chemicals that cause cancer. Many of plastics' additives, for example, PFASs, which give water resistance, are also suspected carcinogens. Many of the others have never been adequately tested. A couple of years ago, a team of American scientists subjected disposable shopping bags to several days of simulated sunlight in order to mimic the conditions they'd encounter flying and floating free. The researchers found that a single bag from CVS leached more than 13,000 compounds, and a bag from Walmart leached more than 15,000. So this shows that plastic poses a life-threatening danger to both humans and animals. And if we do not ban single-use plastics, then most animals and humans will eventually die from physical damage caused by plastics or from the harmful chemicals plastic contains. We're slowly poisoning ourselves in the pursuit of convenience. Going to reusable materials solves this issue completely. And now I'll be going into my third argument, which is that plastic that are single-use cannot be recycled. So the OECD found that a whopping 91% of all plastic isn't recycled at all. Single-use plastics in particular, especially small items like straws, bags, cutlery, are hard to recycle because they fall into the crevices of recycling machinery and therefore are often not accepted by recycling centers. Without these recycling centers who can process the materials, recycling itself becomes useless. So this evidence shows that recycling cannot solve the problem of plastics. Single-use plastics cannot be easily recycled, so they will cause lots of pollution. Because single-use plastics cannot be recycled, it will pollute more of the environment than normal plastic. Without recycling centers willing to process this material, it will be thrown away and continue to change climate as the plastics break down and emit chemicals into the air and ground. So, my three contentions were pollution, danger to human and wildlife, and that plastic cannot be recycled. The overall impact is that if we do not ban single-use plastics, then it will eventually cause the earth to become a wasteland of trash and smog with unlivable conditions, and lots of humans and animals will die from it. Now, I'll be going into my con speech. Innovation and moving forward has always been one of the hallmarks of America. Making our lives easier, better, and more convenient is the foundation of what countless jobs in America are built on. Because embracing plastic is centrally tied to so much economic activity in the U.S., I strongly oppose the resolution that the USFG should ban all single-use plastic. I believe the following for three reasons. Jobs, the economy, and that plastic is simply too useful to be banned. So, I'll be discussing my first contention now. The plastic industry is one of the largest in the U.S., with a total of 1.5 million jobs related to it. As America tries to retain manufacturing jobs in this country, abandoning the industry would hurt many millions of workers, especially since manufacturing jobs tend to be higher paying. Losing these jobs would be especially harmful. America's economy cannot take this big of a hit. This impact shows that lots of people find jobs in the plastic industry. This plastic is a lifeline for millions of families. So if we ban single-use plastics, then millions of people will lose their jobs. Losing that many workers would lessen economic activity in the U.S. and directly hurt the families of those former employees. We should not turn our backs on millions of American workers. So this leads into my second contention, which is the economy. So right now, the plastic economy, it's valued at about $712 billion, and its shipment value is about $600 billion. Stopping the manufacture of these items wouldn't stop them from being created. They would just be made somewhere else like China or Mexico. So stopping America from creating these goods just hands the opportunity to other countries. If these items are going to be created anyway, America is the one that would produce them the most responsibly while also creating an economic benefit to the U.S. Manufacturing of plastic in America is a huge industry that makes us a dominant force in the economic spectrum. So the plastic industry clearly contributes a lot to the economy. If we ban plastics, it will cause lots of economic downturn in America while helping other countries who would pick up the slack. Stopping the use of single-use plastics would be giving up an entire sector of our manufacturing. And so now I'll be discussing my third contention, is that plastic is just too useful to be banned. Plastic is used across almost every sector, including to produce packaging, in building and construction, in textiles, consumer products, transportation, electrical and electronics, and industrial machinery. And another example is how PVC, also known as vinyl, is essential to patient and healthcare worker safety, as it has been used in the medical realm for more than 50 years. It is used to make IV tubing and blood bags, both of which are essential to providing safe medical care. If single-use plastics were banned, then we would have pretty much everything taken away. Then the only resources we could use are natural resources, which are pretty rare and pretty much always bad quality. This proves how useful plastic is for many uses, especially medical uses that save lives. And the impact of banning plastics is that without plastics, lots of essentials, many of which are life-saving, would just be gone. So, Judge, today my 3 contentions for the concept were job, economy, and that plastic is too useful to be banned. And this is why I stand firmly on the opposition of the resolution that the USFG should ban all single-use plastics.